Hey guys, this week's podcast is brought to you in part by Oil Can Hancock's Man Spray. It's time to ditch those overpriced colognes and teenage smelling body sprays and get a good one. Made in America, made for people who like to smell great. Oil Can Hancock's. Get 30% off and free shipping by using the code Cabana30 at BUYOCH. That's BuyOCH.com. Oil Can Hancock's. Pretty good. Enjoy the show.
This is the Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
It's a podcast with two people.
So it's either got to be Colt Cabana or Stone Cold Steve Austin or Chris Jericho at this point, right?
X-Pac. Yeah,
X-Pac.
Someone added, Edge and Christian were pretty cool.
Right.
I like the idea that it's like, oh, that's a nice category. You know, me and my boys with the big runs, X-Pac.
Well, you're the
Jericho, and Stone Cold.
pioneer of podcasting.
Yeah, you started it. So it's the least we can do.
Hey, good to see.
Made it cool.
Yep,
Wrestling podcast.
you sure
are cool
did.
due to this man. I got to put over Killing the Town too. I'm a big fan of Killing the Town.
Well, you killed
Yeah.
his thing.
Yeah.
Are we starting live now, or
We're starting.
Oh,
We're on. Who doesn't know how to grab a microphone though?
Matt?
Matt's
being an amateur.
Sorry,
Everybody
I was
good?
videoing for our hit show, Being the Elite, a second ago.
Oh.
This is the first
Yeah.
4-in-1. You guys gonna be able to control yourselves?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, as long as
I mean, and not talking over each other.
Well, we'll do that. That's what we do best, actually, right? Sometimes.
And we make it
what we've
entertaining.
been doing on all our closing day promos throughout this entire loop.
Or some of our scenes, like on Being the Elite, like you can't hear anything. There's like 7 people talking.
And you have upgraded your equipment
A little bit.
You had like a windscreen.
Yeah, we actually got like the shotgun mics. We got some tripods. Nick got the stabilizer camera.
Yeah.
What else have we got?
Yeah, $26,000 later, that's what happened.
Oh, and then I bought Nick an iMac for his birthday. It's
Wow.
We put some money into it, but not only that, we're starting to like rent limos and stuff. And
yeah, like stuff like that. That's right.
I mean, for the sake of the show, not for our leisure.
Buy flights.
Yeah.
buy flights.
Like in real life, the idea of like renting a limo. I don't know where you guys are at. Cody did tell me you guys are getting a little out of hand now, which I didn't appreciate.
Yeah.
That because Cody's motto is spend it now because you'll make more later.
Yes.
That's true.
Bad
yeah,
influence,
yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's true that he says it, not true that it'll happen.
right. No, I'm saying, yes, I've heard it come directly from his mouth. So, yes, it's true.
But for the show.
Yes.
For the show.
for the quality of it, so that's
Yeah,
why we
exactly.
feel like we should put some money into it.
I was gonna say how funny it is that we put so much money into the show, but we make no money back from the show.
No, not at all. But, I mean, we're perfectionists. Much like we are in the ring, we care about our quality. We care a lot about the product we put out. Right. And sometimes, we have to make sacrifices for the sake of that quality, whether it's sacrificing possibly our health, possibly our time, possibly our sanity, sometimes our money, but it's something we're willing to do for the sake of what we put out to the public and the people.
It's our art.
It's art. I like it. And now you realize, like, as much as performers, we wrestle and we want to make it like now it's transcended.
Yes.
So like, oh,
It's not about the matches now.
Not at all.
Oh my
That's
God,
what's
we spend more
crazy,
time on
yeah.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yes. What was it
We
yesterday
do.
when we
Yeah.
spent 40 minutes talking about that one scene?
That's
One
the thing.
scene.
I think. I mean, and not to say that we've perfected professional wrestling, like or we've.
you referred to yourself as.
He said he was a god yesterday.
Let's not go there.
Was it in context?
No,
What was the word you used?
I had said that something along the lines of it was already been scientifically proven. It was just a fact. So don't shoot
No,
the
but
messenger.
you were like, due to. It was don't shoot the messenger, but you said like, listen, I'm not saying it, but because it's been said, I am your wrestling god.
Yes,
And
you
the
did
people
say that.
popped. They were
I
like,
love
yeah.
the humbleness of it, though.
But what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
is that the wrestling end of things, I mean, we can just do that in our sleep now. We don't need to really put too much thought. We don't have to rethink. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
So when it comes to filmmaking and making the show, that's going to take us a little more time.
Yeah, because we're new to it.
Yeah,
we're
we're
learning
still
on the job.
new. Yeah.
I almost feel like, I don't know how you guys feel about this too. It's like I get more of a high out of it now when we put this show up. And I get like the comments and the feedback about the show now than I do after a wrestling match.
So that's instant gratification, which is
Yes.
weird because I've noticed it in comedy, and as opposed to the idea of like when you're a comedian or whatever, you say it right there, and if you get those laughs, it happens, and it is the same as wrestling.
Yeah.
And then that is something also I found is
but the high is when you put it up and you see the reactions. Is it? It's not as much as when you film though.
When you
right?
film it, you're like, this is terrible. This is stressful.
Yes,
Let's just shoot
yes,
this thing
yes,
and get
yes.
it over with, right?
When can we get it out?
Right.
How is it going to get put together? Where are we going from this? Yeah, it's a feeling of that. But then there's like a feeling of I find that when it's all edited and then when you finally see that it's uploaded, when Nick gives the go ahead, like, hey, it's uploaded.
We're live,
it's
pal.
Yeah, we're alive, pal.
Yeah.
There's that feeling of accomplishment. You know what I mean?
But you
So,
know what?
like,
There's been times though that in our group chats we're actually nervous because
we're
we don't
really
know
worried.
how the
waiting for
feedback
that
will
first
be.
wave of comments and feedback.
Yeah.
to come in.
Specifically the DM episode.
Yes,
Right.
we
Did
were
you see
scared
that
for
one
that
where we have the Kenny nudes that really
Yep.
Like we were like, where's this gonna go? Is this gonna be negative? Like
Yeah.
we all thought it was funny, but sometimes what we think is funny isn't necessarily funny to other
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
Was that the payoff for the whole time?
For that one, we knew we were going with that pretty much, right?
I don't know because we had discussed
There were a few options. You're right.
Yes,
right,
that's right.
right.
What
And
were
then in
other
the
options?
end,
I don't remember. I have no idea now.
there was quite a few.
Were there? Okay.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, but in the end, it somehow just came to me that perhaps the way we went about it was
I was happy with
probably
it.
the
The
right
funny
way.
to
But that's
go.
so true. Like what Nick said, like sometimes we'll be like, this is going to be a killer episode. And then like,
Yeah.
it's not as, like the numbers
Not
aren't
as
there.
strong,
And
yeah.
like the feedback's not there. And we're like, that's the best episode we've ever done. What are you talking about? But then, you know, some stuff that's so subtle. And then it's
Right.
like, that stuff gets over. And we're like, why did that get
Nick,
over?
you put out an episode that you did, and you were like, "I think I have to be done after this because that was my Picasso."
That's
Like-
happened a few times.
I thought that was the case when Marty joined,
Right.
And we built that up for months beforehand. So I was like, all right, I'm burnt out. This is it.
And what was cool about it was that we had all pre-existing footage that actually told the story perfectly when we did the flashback episode. And it's not that we pretended that it was flashback stuff; it actually happened, and all aided in the story of building towards this new member.
Like
that debuted at
Tarantino
ROH.
the whole episode.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Kenny? Are you? It's what's interesting to me is to hear how excited you are because you guys were. I mean, it all started with you three being in Japan, but
Yes.
now
Yeah.
the Bucks aren't necessarily as in Japan. So
Right.
sometimes you
Right.
guys are filming. You're not all
Apart
filming
from each
together,
other.
Yeah,
right?
that's
And
what
Nick's
makes
the
it hard.
filmer,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
you're kind of separated a little bit. And I
Right.
was kind of curious if like you felt like
No, I definitely felt. I was actually telling Matt and Nick the other day. I felt like whoever the invisible boss of being the elite is, I felt that I was sent on a learning excursion away from the show, and I'd felt like just sad and lonely and apart from the group because these guys are coming out with such good content that I was not a part of. And people are wondering, where am I for the invasion? Where am I for the Flip Gordon stuff?
Yeah.
And it's like, of course I want to be there. But all I can do is I can either do my real life stuff from when I'm on tour, or I can aid with a phone conversation here and there. But I can't physically be in the scenes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, that's when I do these loops and stuff like that. They're actually pretty much being the elite tours. Like when we went to the UK,
Stop, yeah.
we did that so that we could. I mean, as great as it is to connect with the fans, we love doing that. I wouldn't have done it alone. I would have made sure that Nick and Matt at least were there with me because we want to get as much work done on the show as possible too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. We have all these group chats
Every day.
every day.
Every
And
day.
literally 50-60% of the time we're talking about like, what if we did this? What if we did that? Like that's
Yeah.
how
That's
into
what it's
this
become.
we are now. Like we're constantly
And it's
talking
funny
about
because
this.
these two were against it when it first started, and I was the one that was like, "Hey, it could be something different. It could be new content for our YouTube page."
Well,
Yeah.
what the important thing is, and I think this is for anybody putting out anything, listening, who is you have to put out to then find your voice, right?
Right. Exactly.
Because you guys, the point is that you didn't give up,
Yeah.
and you started a show which was a show that basically a lot of people try to do their vlogs of
Yep.
just them on the
Yeah.
road,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you did it long enough where you realized to yourself like, oh, when we put that one skit on,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
people were blown away. It was funny because
Yep.
like I started reading the comments, like everyone was like, well, let me just paraphrase what a Being the Elite episode is. Matt and Nick at the airport, Matt and Nick at a diner, Matt and Nick. I'm like, man, we need more, you know.
Yeah.
And originally the whole thing with us started
Hold on,
with
does that piss you
Vines.
off though?
It doesn't
that
necessarily.
pisses
Of course it
me
does. I'm
off
a
a
human
little
being.
bit.
And of
human
course,
being.
I'm like, come on, it's free content.
Yes, but then again, I go, you know what? This whole thing started with 6-second Vines we did with Kenny, and then it
Exactly,
built off
yeah,
of us
that's
doing
true, yeah.
22-second videos on Twitter. So then
This
we
came
started
from
doing
Vine?
Yeah, it all started
Yes,
from Vine.
yes, it did. It did.
Yes,
And,
that's right.
Can we
I
shed a
miss
tear
Vine.
right now?
I miss Vine.
rest in
Oh,
peace,
hey, yeah.
It's pretty good.
So we were like, why don't we incorporate some of those original skits we did, like the shorter stuff, and put that on the show?
That's
People
right.
dug that. And then we started doing it, and then we realized this whole thing started going up. Like people,
Yeah.
the viewership was up. People were talking about it. We're like, okay, this is what people want. But now it came to a point now where it's like the whole show was almost was bit after bit after bit after bit.
But we had too much storylines to get to, so now it's getting more back to vlogging / storylines.
We wanna
So
blur
it's
the
a mixture
lines, like,
of-
what-
But
part
you
is
don't
real,
even
what's
do
fake?
the stuff anymore where you're like, here we are.
We just started doing that again. Actually, on
Yeah.
this
We
loop.
sort of had a bit of
Yeah.
a meeting of the minds where we need to go back to our roots a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that, I mean, I'm sure fans would like to see it again too, but I mean, I just kind of want to see it because this is sort of a journal of how we're living our lives.
Yeah.
And I like seeing the real life stuff too.
Right.
And I like hearing the song.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
the travel song that my dad does.
Dun, dun, dun.
It'll be fun to go back because
I say that too, right?
You sing all
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dad's songs. You
Yeah.
love them.
Let it be known.
Catchy.
It's funny. We haven't had this discussion, Kenny, but yeah, that song
It's awesome.
is my
Catchy.
favorite song.
Yeah.
War
Oh, yeah, it
Heroes
is.
Cry.
Yeah.
I was like, what 80s legend?
I love it.
What 80s
Yeah.
movie was
And
that in?
I said, yeah, like it sounds
I'll tell
like
my dad that he'll blush.
Please.
Yeah. Like 80s action, like cop film, you know what I mean? Detective story, like good cop, bad cop thing.
Right.
It's just like,
Yeah,
as the
he
credits
hits it.
are rolling.
He never got a break, huh?
He's getting it now.
He never got.
Honestly, though, like
never
back
too
to
late.
like the us documenting real life stuff. I think that's originally what people felt so connected with the three of us. Is it's like, oh my god, I know these guys on a personal level. Like you with your podcast. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you
that's
really
true.
started to climb, and people knew who you were when you started this thing because people were like, this is who Colt really is.
Well, and the Wrestling Road Diaries, which
Yes,
is
yes.
also the look into us as real people.
Yes.
Exactly,
But it's
yeah.
still weird because it is us as real people. But once a camera or a microphone
course,
is on,
of course.
right? We're always a little turned
It's
on.
amped up a
your
little
energy's
bit.
up, and even right now, like you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean. I wouldn't be sweating right now if we were just having a normal conversation. Like
You're
a little
schwitzing.
bit, a little bit.
But
I got
this
joggers
this
on.
is the most normal conversation that the four of us would be in, though.
Yes,
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I have a present for both. For
Really?
and now I feel
wait,
bad
what?
for Kenny.
We'll share it
Why?
with Kenny.
That's fine.
What is it?
We're always sharing.
So also,
together.
this is you guys have become mass marketers,
Yeah, we're trying.
right? You're trying.
Well,
You're
we've
doing-
learned from the best, man.
Well, so
What is
here
this?
is a present I saved for both of you. It's
Oh,
not
wow.
for you, actually.
Wow.
This is for your
I
children.
think I know. Yeah,
Oh,
this is really
that's
cool.
awesome.
What?
So I want you to give that to your
That's
kids.
cool.
When did-
Wow.
Wrestling dreams.
So in
This is
conjunction
great.
with this podcast, I will
actually
be
really cool.
releasing my
This is
children's
awesome.
book.
Wow.
Do this. I'm blown away right now.
This is
I've actually
awesome.
talked about doing a children's book. He beat me again.
Thank you,
Beat you
Colt.
to it.
This is really cool,
crazy.
dude.
I'll sign
What
it
a
for
gift.
your kids
Please.
afterwards.
Awesome.
Holy crap!
And I mean, don't read it now.
Okay. this is great. Awesome.
He's just kayfabed us and
Wow.
surprised us.
But this is. I was waiting. Well, I was going to give it to you, but I was like,
This
oh,
is
I
really
should
cool.
wait
This
until
is
the
awesome.
podcast.
Yeah, now it's a real
Thank you.
moment. No, I'm really excited.
Very
This
cool.
is cool. Thank you.
And
Man, you
love
beat us to this.
Nick and I talked about doing a children. We
This
talked
is
about
so
doing like a
cool,
Where's
though.
Waldo
Yeah.
book too. Remember?
Yeah. Or,
This is
or like
awesome,
a
though.
sticker book
Awesome.
thing.
Yeah.
We put the stickers to make the story.
How'd you do this?
But the thing with this is you got to put real money into this.
No,
Right.
this
Yes.
is
a real book.
This is a real book.
drop a figure, man. I'm
Professionally done. Yeah,
No, well, it's-
drop a figure off film
Yeah,
or
when we're done with
off
this.
audio. Here.
I did. I partnered with one of my best friends, Sam the dentist, who comes up sometimes. You guys ever met Sam the dentist?
Sounds familiar.
He's my friend. He's a dentist.
Okay.
He comes to a lot of the Chicago
Okay.
shows. His wife Erica, she's in the children's book game.
Oh,
Very
that's
awesome.
cool.
And
Yeah.
so I figured that can parallel to the idea of the merch. Now, you guys
cool.
both told me that, and I'm going to call you out, Kenny.
Sure.
That you were like, oh, should I be selling T-shirts on Pro Wrestling?
That's right.
today?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's real.
and
That
and
is-
he
And
didn't have a
Twitter.
Twitter.
You didn't even have a Twitter when we
I
first went to
didn't-
New Japan
I
with
didn't.
you.
I didn't.
So my question for you, because when we did this podcast, we did it a single one.
We did.
back in Los Angeles for Jeff Katz's.
Yes.
And we were just talking about
Which
this
is,
actually.
strangely enough, almost 7 years ago or something like that.
No,
to the day.
but I would say 4 or 5.
It was something like 6 or 7 because Lance Storm just put up a tweet saying like 6 years ago, like a week ago, we were there doing that. So
No
it's
shit.
crazy, yeah.
And at that point, yeah, no social media, nothing. But
Nothing.
also, you were just this guy hidden away in Japan. You didn't need
Yeah.
it, right?
I had thought that there was some sort of mystique to being away from it all.
Interesting.
Which perhaps there is.
Which is great because we're going to see. I'm going to get to hear both sides of that theory.
Yeah.
right now.
And maybe for a while, there is like the only way to catch me is to watch me where I wrestle.
Is to
and
come
that's
to
it.
Yokohama, Japan.
Exactly, yeah, because there weren't really streaming services then either. Or the odd podcast that I do, you're gonna have to tune into that. I thought at that point that was a really good business strategy, and maybe it's cool for the fan that wants to feel like, hey, I've really found this
The true hipster fan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but
which is something probably close to your heart.
It really totally is. But from a business standpoint, and for helping me, being an independent athlete at that point in time, cutting myself off from an opportunity to actually, get merch out to my fans was in hindsight not a good idea.
And when you see your buddies buying 5 houses in Rancho Cucamonga,
right? Yeah, very true.
And you're living out of a Winnebago in Winnipeg.
Yeah, a Winnebago.
A Winnebago.
Yeah, I remember getting on your case. I think we were on the bus, and we were like, "Dude, do you not have a Twitter?
Yeah,
like, dude, do you not have a pro wrestling t-shirt?"
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. And I remember Kenny actually saying this.
I said, is it worth it? Like, is it easy to do?
You said you had self-doubt in yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. You're like, do people even think about? They're gonna care about what I have to say.
And I remember Kenny saying, "Do you think people would buy my shirts?" And Matt and I were like, "Are you kidding me?"
Like, dude, you don't realize,
because
how poor you are.
I was at the store when you first put up shirts.
Yeah.
And that's like an insight that a lot of people don't, that I'm lucky to have, is to see the train of shirts on that drying machine.
Yeah, that's probably
cool.
crazy.
Yeah. And I'm seeing like all your shirts being made. I wish I probably should have sent you a picture. That would have been satisfying to see.
Yeah.
And also, all you fuckers too, like, because like Cody, when he put out, I think the American Bullet Club one there.
Oh, yeah.
The
That
American
one
Nightmare.
That's
Huge
a
one.
that's
And
a
I was
hot
there,
one.
and I saw these giant piles of shirts,
You just see it happening,
and to see the numbers on Marty.
It's mind blowing.
and it's a movement,
crazy.
man. It's like you join the Bullet Club and you kind of get a little rich or something.
Who's like, I want? Can you throw in like Virgil? Like, give him. Who's gonna?
yeah. Give him another run.
He's actually like I don't know if it's not. It can't be him on Twitter. Whoever
Oh
does
no,
his
it's the
account.
Meg. It's the guy who used to run the Iron Sheik account.
Okay, like
And I don't want to call him out, but just
we just
did.
said sort of been DM'd, and I think he's trying to get him in Bullet Club, or at least have him like come out to the ring with us a few times.
But
Megan
you know what?
twins.
You know
You know
what's
the
funny
Megan
though is we
twins?
can't control who joins the club.
People think that we literally get people in.
Like no, we don't have any control in any of
we
that.
have a say like sometimes, but
We have influence, but we don't.
right.
Like Gato's got final say in all of that.
At the end of the day, it's a it's a New Japan.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you really want to know what is a product of what is a brainchild of us, that's being the elite.
Yes, exactly.
And the term the elite, right?
Right.
Yes.
And the term the elite as
Yeah.
well. So if you see someone on the show, and if you see the way that they're portrayed or whatever, that is all because of us, and the person too. Wanting to show themselves however it is that they because we all have original characters for the show.
And so there's something also about selfishness which people I don't think fans realize. And in a way, like, this is something that I think as a wrestler too, is originally when this podcast was starting to come out and nobody had these kind of shows.
Sure.
I saw it as such a great way to show the world my friends and how great they are as people. And as I saw the reaction that Hangman Page got the other night,
Yes.
So cool, man.
Gives me chills actually thinking about it.
It was crazy. I loved it.
and essentially, like, he was in this promotion for 4 years.
Yes.
And it was just a guy. And so when I say selfishness, I guess I mean reverse selfishness.
Yes.
Whereas you guys could take this show and you can make it all about you.
Yeah.
And try to make sure that you're the only ones that get over.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's that idea of giving somebody else a rub.
And you know what though? I think like Nick and I were.
It was literally Matt and I's project.
We
We were
wanted
like,
to get him
let's
over.
get Hangman over
Yeah.
and let's build a story to that. And we just try to figure out what that story would be.
Because bringing in Cody and Marty, they're such strong personalities, and like they're so comfortable around us. And Hangman's still kind of the new guy, and like everybody goes, "Oh, he's just a new guy," right? So we're like, we really need to shine the spotlight on this guy and get him over.
And we did it for about 4 weeks
Right.
straight with Where's Hangman's story. And we knew the payoff would work out.
Right.
Yeah.
And the key, good dude.
Great dude,
Great dude.
unbelievable
Great guy.
wrestler, dude.
Great
like
guy.
he deserves everything. So we're like, let's help this guy. And if we're surrounded by people that are all over, it's going to make us even more over,
Yes.
And God, having Marty and Cody with us has been a game changer. It's like the show's been elevated on another level. These guys are brilliant. They're funny. They're so witty. They come up with great ideas. We're in chats with them too about storyline ideas. They love this, so it's so fun. Like we have so much good chemistry.
And it crosses over, like, I guess it crosses over with the stuff that because how would you say, like eccentric wrestling almost, Kenny?
Yes, special interest wrestling.
Special.
You call it. Yeah.
I've never
That's a
heard
good
that.
term.
Yeah, no,
That's good.
That's a great
I
term.
came up with the term a while back.
Yeah,
but
because the match like you had last night was like a
Yes.
it was theater.
like that.
Hold on. When you say special interest, you say I came up with that term. What goes behind your thinking of that?
It's just when you kind of try to classify a type of wrestling. What is my style? What is the the elite style? What is Young Buck style? What is Kenny Omega style? Like, how do you? Of course, there are professionals that are going to rate these matches, or they're going to be so-called professionals that are going to write scathing reviews or positive reviews or whatever, and they can try to say okay, they're like high flyers blended with Japanese style blended with Attitude Era style, and it's like they're going to come up with all these terms and make it sound like there's some sort of hybrid thing, but really it's just us being us, and there's really kind of no one else doing what we do right now. And as fun as it is to watch on film, online or whatever, seeing us live is really the best way to experience it.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
like yesterday and the day before that, we had some really awesome crowds that, I don't know. I mean, yes, we were wrestling. We're on a wrestling show, but it felt so much more
Felt
like
like
a
a concert.
production.
Dude,
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it is.
Well,
It's-
I mean, right. I treat mine as like comedy shows.
Of course.
and we're trying to make
treated it-
movies.
You're right. You're
We're trying to have an
different.
episode
Like
of
kind of
Being
like
Elite.
sort of like stage
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
Where, of course, anything can go, but depending on what narrative we're going to go with, like there's like various arcs.
Right. And there are no traditional
And
rules.
there's whether we want to go with like 1 act, 2 acts, 3
Sure.
acts, but like it's not going to be your basic 4-step match ever, and it's not going to be like, well, this is kind of the wrestling thing, the wrestling way to do it,
Right.
so that's how we're going to have to do it, and
Let
it's
me make
never like that.
I want to make something that I noticed when you guys were out doing those speeches at the end. It's almost like that's what they were there for.
Yeah, just the speech. The wrestling's the
that
extra part. Yeah.
Party at the end.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Where-
It's a culmination to that
That's
moment.
true.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It
It's like-
seems like
wow.
after a play, you guys were like taking. That was like,
Yeah.
Dude, Cody just
take your
said the
final
exact
bow.
same
Yeah.
thing yesterday. Like word
We
for word. You just said.
the whole story in the match is to draw those
Yeah.
people in and to make them feel like they're a part of something and taken into this world. Until then, by the way, you guys are all part of this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
It's a
and it's a
curtain call.
big party. Yeah.
It's a little bit of reality mixed with like, hey, this is really us now. Thanks for
Right.
coming to the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every show should end like that.
So, but now here's my feeling, and this is a problem that I've had for myself as a guy who does a weird style in comedy wrestling. Is it sometimes I'm making them do my match, I do the skits, and then
Right.
like I can interplace whoever's in there.
Sure.
Right,
And
right, right.
it's kind of like it doesn't matter almost who I'm wrestling.
it's just
Yeah.
Colt. It's the Colt Cabana show.
the Colt Cabana
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
And,
now, right?
ma-
Have you guys fought with this internally?
no, I mean it's
Within
nature-
your own minds, not your.
It's kind of the nature of the beast. If you get into a match with the elite, it's going to be the elite match and the elite show. That's just
At
how
this
it is.
point, yeah.
Yeah, like and I'm not. We don't mean to do that selfishly at all, but there just is such.
I see what your point is, though.
Yeah.
But at some point, we're gonna need
We definitely-
like, heels to take us down,
Right,
to
work
like,
with, yeah.
change it.
We always cater every match to highlight our opponent's strengths. Like it's never okay because we work the kingdom. The kingdom could be interchangeable with 3 other dudes. It's never like that. All the ideas that we come up with for their high points. That's gonna be the kingdom, and
That's
they're
true.
gonna have their own moments.
We show their strengths as well.
Right.
as our-
We're
yeah,
not.
yeah,
we're never
yeah.
going to try to eat anyone alive, and we're never going to try to make someone do something that they're completely uncomfortable with. We're going to try to come up with this weird and wild story. But if you're just like a serious wrestling dude, and you're taking a part in what we're doing, we'll still find a way for you to look that role. That you want to portray yourself as. But in general, the narrative and us being us, it's probably going to take over and consume
This
that
is the
anyway.
show, right?
Yeah.
Especially right now, I think it feels like what people want to
Yeah.
see. So
Right.
And so when Nick was saying, it's weird to compare yourself to look back. When I see it, it's like, oh, when Hogan and they would just feed him the heels, and I'm sure it's weird for you guys to hear that. Like, oh, wait, we're the Hogan,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
right? But eventually, you need
Yes.
we need someone to work with.
right.
We need a story.
Yeah.
We need
So-
a long.
so in your head, who's
thing.
who's that?
We've
know.
been we've been thinking of things.
There are people, but we don't know.
But
like,
the build
The problem
would have
is
to be
that
very long.
You take the good ones and then you just form them into your group.
See that,
You
and
don't
that's the
wrestle.
that's the problem that
someone
we've had.
made a joke about like there's a rumor going around about someone leaving WWE, and I always send a Bullet Club T-shirt.
Right.
And like Ricochet did a funny tweet. He's like, "No, you guys always get the cool guys." You know what I mean? It popped me because it's true. It's like, yeah, we probably should just let these guys like wrestle us instead of join us. You know?
Yeah.
That might be a problem though in a
Of
couple.
course,
years
it was.
from now.
Well, it was an NWO, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Nobody wrestling.
They only had Sting, and then they had Goldberg for a little while, but that was
DDP,
pretty much
Isn't
it.
that
though.
essentially why the NWO had to like turn on each other and then they formed the Wolfpack?
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? They had to wrestle each
well,
other.
it could lead to that.
Well,
Who knows?
It did,
Civil War?
didn't it? Though
We've had ideas.
The Elite came.
Yeah,
Sure,
that's
but
true.
we're still all the same group, though.
And
We're
you know what
just
the
a
problem with
subgroup.
that? Trust us. The three of us have said let's split, but no one will allow that because the merchandise is
too
too
big.
Too
Sure.
big.
Yeah.
So that's
can't
the
now.
reason why it hasn't split,
And
and,
do you-
probably won't split up.
And do you think about? Do any of you guys think about when this starts going downwards?
Dude,
or-
I thought it was going to go downwards 3 years ago,
Honestly,
but
yeah.
it keeps going up.
Honestly, yeah.
It's mind blowing.
I thought the final straw was when AJ Gallows
And when they left, that's
Carl
why we
left.
formed the Elite because
Yes.
we were planning the next phase.
and as soon as we did that, everything skyrocketed back up, and we're like, "Whoa, let's ride this now." You know what I
this is
mean?
Easily the biggest the Bullet Club's
Yeah.
ever been.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite. I just tweeted this last night. It's my favorite version of the Bullet Club by far.
A lot of us.
It's the most chemistry we've
yeah,
ever had.
yeah, we have
Oh, by far.
so
By
much
far.
chemistry.
And then-
So much chemistry.
Kenny, do you feel? Right, like in your head, are you aware that like these matches with Okada have like boosted you up?
oh
yeah,
man.
I sort of felt like even though I haven't been able to be physically able to take part in every episode of being the Elite, and I have been able to do a lot of the six mans. Like I wanted this year to actually focus specifically on us as the Elite team. I wanted to do a ton of six mans. I wanted to take our act on the road. I wanted to visit, a ton of countries. It never happened because I ended up getting thrust into every major pay-per-view main event this year. But I also feel that even though I wasn't directly appearing in a lot of episodes and doing these six mans, I was still kind of able to help our group out by
It worked out.
having these singles matches in Japan that were critically acclaimed or whatever. And we all have our strengths in the group, and we all contribute in our own little way. And I would have hate to have been the weak link, but if me actually wrestling for real,
Yeah.
and wrestling like a serious wrestler and having these matches overseas help the group, which I think it did.
course.
I'll take it. It's a sacrifice I was willing to make.
Well, but the Bucks, you guys have been able to gradually see when you come out and the reactions get a little louder and louder. But Kenny, you were essentially kind of kicked out of America,
Kind of, yeah.
right? I mean, kicked out of the scene, and then
Yeah, we didn't see him for years.
right, you
Yeah.
came
Yep.
back to like roarious ovations. Is that a word?
He hadn't been to any of these
Turned
towns
into a
in 9 years,
megastar.
he said.
So
by
what?
the
Yeah,
way.
what was that like for you? Because I remember being on shows. I put up that like a blooper that we did. Like I don't know if you remember that or if you saw that.
Which one?
We did a promo together in a basement in like a boiler room. I think it was like in Buffalo, New
Oh
York.
yeah. I do remember
I
that.
found
yeah.
that somehow and threw it on my
Jeez.
YouTube channel. But you were just out there,
Yep.
trying to get someone to care about you.
Yeah, trying.
And now you come back,
Now he's
and
the
it's
king.
ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
Someone's bowling back there.
I don't know what's going on.
no, it's really overwhelming. I actually, it's, I ask the Bucks all the time. Like, I think me being away for so long is it's bound to have cooled me off. I can't come back here. People aren't going to react. I'm just going to be like the weak link. I'm going to hold you guys back and be dead weight. They always kind of reassure me that everything's going to be okay, and I never believe it until I actually hear the reaction. So it's yeah. I guess it's because of what I'm doing over at New Japan, and I'm glad
course it
that
is.
yeah.
Everything
and
to
I
do
guess
with
I'm just
Yeah.
that makes me thankful that we're living in such a digital age where everything is
And
just
it's
so
Right,
readily
it doesn't matter if you go away because
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
synced nowadays.
And it's not just America. Everywhere the three of us go, the reactions have been absolutely
And in general now
crazy.
too, like wrestling fans, like there are very loud fans that are supporters of their favorite promotion and don't watch anything else, but they'll pretend to, and they'll just bash everyone else from everywhere else.
Right.
But in general, I would say a lot of the fans that are wrestling fans just have fun and enjoy watching all kinds of wrestling. So, regardless if they're fans and are going to live shows, NXT shows, WWE shows, PWG shows, ROH shows, what have you, Evolve shows, they're still watching New Japan shows, All Japan shows, DDT shows, PCW shows, you know what I mean? Like whatever, XYZ shows, because they just love wrestling. And even if they haven't watched it, they're willing to watch it. And if they like something, they're not afraid to tell you that they like it, and they'll support you. So and wrestling fans, in this day and age have really turned around. And I think,
I don't know if the mics can pick that up.
What in the Dickens? Yeah.
A metal robot being dragged outside.
Metal robot.
Freddy Krueger's dragging his claws on the boiler room wall.
But it's a Godzilla-sized Freddy Krueger. But I've had this conversation. I don't even know if I had it on the podcast, but there's people who just like. There's definitely people who are just like bashing TNA, and then you go, have you ever seen TNA? They're like, no, I haven't watched it in 4 years.
Yeah, just because it's cool to bash something, people will.
I hate
jump
that
on
pile-on effect.
And you know what?
That people love.
We've had Matt and I specifically have had that a lot lately.
Yes,
and it's crazy.
See, I think you guys are. It's so funny because I feel this for myself, and I'll feel a lot of hate, and I look at you and I'll be like, oh well, they're untouchable, but
no, oh my god,
they are being.
Buried.
This is the most we've ever
they're being
gotten
touched so much. You guys
I get some comments that actually like hurt my feelings.
Of course,
yeah. Like, man, you were a bad dad. I'm like, what?
And so I'll
what
take
does that
myself
got to do
out
with
of it,
anything?
and I'll go, oh, with popularity.
That's what happens.
That's what
we've
happens.
noticed as our popularity has risen. Oh my God, we get it worse than ever every day.
We actually talked with Kevin Owens about this, and he was like, the more you grow in popularity,
he's like, you guys are just too big now. Of course, because you're gonna get the people who are like, oh, I like them 9 years ago before anybody knew who they are. Now they have shirts and Hot Topic. Like,
right?
Like, okay, I get
that's
it.
a thing
Kenny
too,
the
like,
hipster wrestler.
Exactly. Like we are working where we have options now as performers, and for example, the Young Bucks have chosen to sign full time with Ring of Honor, and I've signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it's great that they have a very amicable relationship with each other and they work together. But because we've chosen that path, the road not taken, those fans are going to be upset, and they'll feel like maybe we've slighted them, or that we mean disrespect to where they are. So just based on even that, because you're not here, we don't like you.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it's a different path. People hate like change and difference.
Yeah.
Like, who these guys think they are?
Yeah, they're not doing the normal way.
Yeah, well, they're going to carve their own path. How dare them? Like, I swear to God, I feel that way every day. Like, well, why? Why are you mad at me? I'm trying to give people options here. What are you mad at? Be mad about the other guys, all the 20 guys who just signed with the other place. Like,
so when you guys did that quote unquote invasion, a lot of hatred.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh wow.
I'd say 50-50.
Okay.
And I mean, it was probably the hatred was probably from people who don't follow me on Twitter anyway, or who even know who I am. They just heard about me from the invasion, and all the people who love our show loved it. You know what I mean? So it's just, but it's either I love you, you're the greatest, you're changing the business, or I hate you and I want you to die. It's one of those two.
So why? It's so weird because I don't want to give this man's name. The man with the tennis racket, right?
Yeah.
But we talk about his idea for. We could tell that he just wants to be relevant, controversy,
of course,
right? And I know you guys have both been pretty loud about it, but that's like in the back of your head, you're like, "Ooh, let's cause a little controversy to get him talking."
Right.
When you go to www.
Sure.
www.
You can just say it if you want.
/cease.
I get what he's doing. He's playing a character.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get a character over.
But we didn't do the invasion just for that fact.
No, we were telling a story.
We had this plan months and months and months ago, and we built the story on being the elite for months, and we knew that they would be there that day.
Knew that.
And we planned it.
And where's the Stooge at? The Stooge would be at a WWE show. So it's more about us blowing this storyline off. So it bothers us.
And it was a little bit of a parody of the DX thing.
But it almost bothers us because it's like, no, you don't really watch the show for what it was for.
Exactly.
You're just watching because we did an invasion. And it's the first time they'd ever seen it. Watch the whole show. Like we found the Stooge now. Like, come on. It wasn't just about let's cause a stir and get heat with WWE officials. Like, no, we knew
that would come along with it.
It was more about the show.
Yeah.
Really. It's all about the show.
Yeah, like
we have storylines already plan for the next 6 to 8 months that you already know about.
Right. Which is mind blowing.
So we think of these things ahead of time,
Right.
More so than most major wrestling companies,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Right, totally.
But we knew there would be consequences. But man, I didn't know they would be as crazy as they've been. But you know what? It's funny because every time they sell for us, the story just gets bigger. Because it could have just been a viral video we put out, right? And then it goes away after a week, and then the next Being the Elite goes out.
Yeah.
No. They keep doing all these things and taking these extra measures to make our video pop up in the news again and again and again and again and again. So now it's become like this infamous thing that happened.
Where does your guys' mind go as people, where you have quote unquote heat with WWE? Because me as a person, right? It's so weird, and wrestling is about like causing and stirring,
Yes.
right? And that's how
You want hype.
That's how you keep your name. But as a person, like that Jewish guilt for me, if anyone's like, oh, I don't like, or if someone's like, oh, I've got heat with you, I'll be like, oh no.
You know what? The three of us, we've had heat with wrestlers for being jealous of us or whatever
my goodness.
for our whole career.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new.
You know what launched our career was the Booker T,
handshake?
the Booker
Yeah.
T handshake,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we had heat with everybody.
Yeah.
And then when we got that heat, our career went like this, boom, and it was
Yeah.
like, hey, so now I'm like at the point where oh, you have heat with me, bring it on.
Exactly,
My career's been going great. Every time someone has heat with me, things get better.
Right.
So I don't know.
And you too.
I mean,
stepping
yeah,
back
like
the Deep South, right? Like just kind of bucking the system.
Yeah, just for me, in the Deep South thing, all I ever did was try to increase morale for the boys. And when they asked me about my experience there, I was truthful about it, and that's how I took heat from that.
While you were in the system.
Well, this is after I'd asked for my release.
Okay.
So I never actually ever try to purposely get heat with anyone. I always try to just be a good human being, but just with the way that we carry ourselves and with just the way that we run our show or whatever, the way we run our matches and how we are, heat's just gonna come with it.
We create buzz.
So if someone says to me that, hey, you probably have heat with this guy or this guy or this guy, in the Fed or the E or whatever you want to call it, I don't really pay too much attention to it because I know that I actually haven't really done anything directly.
And you know what,
negative to the
Kenny?
person.
When Dave Meltzer's saying Kenny Omega versus Okada was the best match of all time, that's going to get heat
Exactly.
with every wrestler
Yes,
on the
of course.
planet.
We've all got heat,
because
and
we
it's
all have
silent
egos.
But
anyway.
that's a different.
Yeah.
That's a different slice of heat.
Sure.
Though.
Yeah.
Right. That's
I know,
like
but
you
it all
just doing
leads,
your
it
job.
all
True.
leads into each other, though.
Yeah.
And if, like,
It does, dude.
me
You're-
playing a heel character, if I hype myself based on that, because really everything that I do in Twitter is just, it's not Tyson Smith really. It's all Kenny Omega most of the time. So if I throw some shade based on that, it's all fake, like in the moment to lead into my next angle in New Japan. But a WWE fan, for some reason that doesn't follow me anyway, is going to see this turn up, and they're going to take my words, twist it around. It's going to appear on some sort of wrestling fan website, and then that's going to get passed around, and then suddenly I'm public enemy number one.
Right.
Whereas all I was doing was try to hype up my next rematch with Okada or whatever it was. I'm never actually directly trying to offend anyone from any other promotion. If someone says I had the greatest match of all time, that's great. I'm going to use that as a reason to make my next match mean something, or make the
Right.
rematch mean something even more.
I think that's blurring the lines in 2017
Of course,
and building
of
a
course.
character and an angle. Like I'm not so much like he said. Most like everything he does is Kenny Omega. Some stuff is Matt Massey, my real name, and then some stuff's Matt Jackson. And that's why I like to do both, because then people go, "Wait a minute, who am I getting here?"
And now there's
You know what I mean?
like Matt Jackson being the elite, but then Matt Jackson.
Yeah, there's like so many different
Yeah,
characters
yeah.
now, right?
There's
Like it's
Castle's
twisted.
Matt Jackson.
Yes,
Yeah, there's-
it's like now people don't know. They go, "Wait a minute, did he really say that?" And it's like, I'll say one thing, and then one thing, dude, turns into a thread
Yes.
with 1,000
And
comments.
it snowballs. Yeah,
and I'm like, and I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, come on, really? You're biting on this?
And-
But then
and-
sometimes I'm going, yeah, I really met that one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know sometimes.
Nick made a statement the other day on Twitter, which I thought was great, where some fan was like, "Oh, like have fun." Again, the statement of
Right.
You're not in WWE, so the statement of, "Oh, have fun wrestling in front of 20 people in a garage." And the reality is that you go, the Tokyo Club the Tokyo Club,
Yeah.
The
Tokyo Dome. That's a great club.
Tokyo Dome. Yeah.
The Tokyo Dome
It's a new parody shirt.
is right. It's whatever,
It
60,
fits- yeah,
60,000.
exactly, yeah.
And you, Kenny, are headlining this fucking thing.
Yes.
Which is more than all of these. It's really those people that want to use that one excuse.
And I mean,
you guys are
ridiculous.
just as big. It's if not
ridiculous.
more big
Yeah.
time. It's just in a different country, but it's still.
And our shirts are everywhere.
Yeah,
dude.
and I mean
Like,
the
what are
thing
you
is
saying?
too, and
Yeah.
like maybe I'm gonna catch a lot of heat for saying this right here, right now, but I think what all these people need to understand, whether they like it or not, and whether they'd like to admit it or not, is all three of us, we could go where they are and do what they do, and do it better, but they can never come and do what we do. And
Because we're self-made.
yeah,
We didn't need a machine to back us up. We did it from the ground up.
That's what we always laugh at. We go,
Yeah.
well, imagine if we actually had a machine behind us.
Right.
What could happen? It'd be insane, I think.
I'm not trying to generalize it. I mean, there are guys that are so awesome.
Of course, a bunch of our
there.
buddies there, yeah.
Exactly, all of our friends, and I respect a ton of them. But I mean, like,
But also,
even now, like wrestlers are speaking out against us, which is kind of
Yes,
crazy.
yeah.
Like,
And also,
we
you
never-
moved to a different country and learned that language.
Yeah, it's
exactly. Yep.
And became the top of that scene.
That's wrestling
the
to
man.
me right there.
Yeah.
To be successful, he threw everything out the window. You know what I mean?
Total gamble.
Yeah,
moved
moved
out
to
there.
a foreign country, and it's mind
And
blowing.
he's like the greatest gaijin of
Yeah.
all time already, I think.
You like that?
Yeah, I sat ringside and saw two of the best matches I've ever
Is
seen
that
in my
weird
life.
to say? He told
That's
me
real.
that.
I would just say that.
No,
Yeah.
no, I know. He said,
Yeah.
I mean, what a compliment to you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, like, there were guys that if I have a match, you know, of course, the live house opinion is going to mean a lot. It's going to carry a lot of weight.
The
but
live one? What?
the live house opinion.
I thought you said the live House of Pain.
No.
See House of Pain live?
No, the live house opinion is gonna mean a lot, of course, because you can feel it, you can hear it.
we felt it that night.
But yeah,
Even the boys in the
but like,
back.
if I ask the Young Bucks opinion, that's pretty much the opinion that counts the most to me. Back in the day, like before I was with the Young Bucks all the time and I was in DDT, it was always Rami. Like, Rami, what'd you think?
Yep.
And if Rami gave it a stamp of approval,
And and maybe you said that wrong. It was Sammy.
oh right, sorry, yeah,
Sami Zayn.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
right.
That's right.
For the people
My
listening.
goodness, yeah. My apologies, but yeah, like just these people that I really, am friends with for one, really respect and just like great performers, and they can actually, just their opinion holds a lot of weight with me. Like,
Yeah.
I remember being with
Goes
Kenny
both
in the
ways.
Tokyo Dome Hotel, and we were helping you call the finishing stretch of Tokyo Dome 1 with you and Okada. the next one.
right.
And we came up with like the last few bits, the three of us as a team. And to be out there live with our best friend,
Yeah.
watching these people rocking to something we all came up with that afternoon in a
Magical,
hotel
yeah.
room was magic.
And you know what? I
So
remember the
proud.
match ended, and the three of us were walking backstage, and
Yeah.
we were like, Matt and I both said this. We were like, that might have been the best match of all time.
Yeah, like, and this is without
Which is crazy.
anyone
I
else
remember
saying it.
another-
We
yeah.
witnessed it, like.
I remember another interesting part too, where just for a little bit of comedy. I remember Okada was saying something, and I mean, I was just completely tired, blown up. I was in, just in another world because I just done this match, and it kind of went off without a hitch, and I was happy, and yada yada yada. And I can't remember.
You
if it was
can't yada 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 a New Japan main event.
But I mean, Matt or Nick, I can't remember which one at the time says, "Oh, Okada's saying something to you." He's like, "You want to take it in?" I said, "No, let's get the hell out of here. I'm done."
That's right.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And then where do you? Okay, so you lead into a new match, the Dome.
Right.
Do you
I
feel
mean, I wasn't
Rematch,
sure where to go
oh
from
my
there,
Lord.
and they had just kind of said like, "Hey, we need to go back to this match like right away." I thought we were going to go back to it for over a year or over a year.
I thought they'd wait till the next day.
Yeah,
That's what I
we were
thought.
convinced that like,
Yeah.
okay, this is sort of a special match.
Don't
now.
touch it.
Yeah, you got to just leave it now. And then company came back to me and said like, "Hey, we need to sell some tickets. You want to do it again?" No. Well, we're doing it again. Sorry. And that was it. So,
But they literally said we got to sell some tickets.
yeah.
I mean, that's an-
It's sold out
Yeah,
right
you gotta
when
go
they announced
60,
it.
by the way.
What a
Yeah.
nice feeling though to really on a place
Right,
where
yeah.
on a place where wrestling has always been the Japanese are the stars.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
guys are just there to
Right.
be right.
Yeah.
So then
Unprecedented.
It's really cool. Like, not to toot my own horn or anything, because this is I'm always just a guy who, whether it's dumb or just childish or foolish or whatever you want to call it, I just want to be proud of my own performances, and I want the people that watch my performances to be happy with that and enjoy them. But people are telling me like, hey, like all of your main events are setting attendance records, which is just like really
awesome.
cool. Like I'm a part of that, and
But there's people in the E or the Fed who who that's all they look about and that's all they track.
Right. So I do understand that that's a big part of it too.
But it's nice to hear you weren't even thinking about that. You just want to have good matches, and then they're like, oh hey, by the way,
he's an
That
absolute
just came with
artist.
it.
Yeah.
He thinks of the art of wrestling more than anyone I ever met.
That's why I invited him on the show.
Good one
Could
right
possibly
there.
be even the name of the show. Yeah.
And then you don't have to say what it is, but have you guys mapped out what you're doing this year?
I mean, I'm always
For the dome?
Yeah, the thing is, there's always going to be ideas that the company really wants to do, and you're kind of forced into that. That's how it is. Like, I'm not a booker. I'm just a. I'm a
But I love that if you
wrestler.
guess have enough stroke that you guys all are just going to do the Being Elite tour. You're going to do your shitty little match at the dome. Have your speech at the end.
Everybody
No one
money at the
understands what
Tokyo
they're
Dome,
saying.
But
Three Stooges spot at the Tokyo
It
Dome.
wouldn't work there.
10 boots.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when it comes to when the chips are down and when we have to make a statement and there's going to be a lot of eyes on what we do, I try to have an idea that I am really passionate about it and committed to. And now the company, like I've kind of come to a degree with them where they will kind of trust my opinion. And if they can see that I'm really committed to it and that I want to do it more than anything else, they'll give it some thought. So I'm really working on something kind of special for the Tokyo Dome and beyond. And if everything goes well, I think it's going to be another real special year for guy jeans everywhere.
I think game changer is one of the words I think.
You know what's going on?
Oh, of course I do.
Come on. Oh, that's amazing. That's great to hear then.
Yeah,
And that's exciting because it's weird because you look at how they try to build WrestleMania every year and it's like you always need something and some years it's just like there's nothing there.
Right.
But
there's nothing there. Yeah.
We put so much thought into this; it's ridiculous.
And I imagine Gato is like that's his baby, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
At this
Yes.
point.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. He especially for the big shows, like the big ones that we do, Tokyo Dome, the Osaka Palace, G1, like those are the ones where he really wants to put his best chips on the table. And those are like no fail situations. Of course, he's going to take chances and try to build stars, build new guys. And I actually love being a part of that too. I love helping new guys, just like with the show. You know what I mean? We like introducing new characters and showing their potential and just how cool and fun and funny or whatever they can be. But yeah, when it comes time for the spotlight to be on us a little bit, we want to put our best foot forward and do something real special. So,
well, I mean, I'd ask for some plugs and stuff.
I could do that.
we got it. Well, we do have a show, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it enough.
Exactly.
It's called Being the Elite. You can go to youtube.com/The Elite. Hit the subscribe button. We got ProWrestlingTees.com/YoungBucks. ProWrestlingTees.com/Kenny Omega. YoungBucksMerch.com. Our Twitters. I'm Matt Jackson 13.
Yeah, Nick Jackson, YB.
Omega Man X.
Go to a local Hot Topic.
Go to a local Hot Topic and pick up a shirt. We got a long sleeve Elite shirt. You can only get it there.
Let's
I'll
break
keep
this.
going.
Let's break this right
we
now.
kind of announced this, but
Yeah,
in
Tell 'em.
2018, we're going to have Funko Pop figures.
No, we didn't break this yet.
What's that?
What?
A special Elite backpack.
Oh, yeah, the Elite
Hot
backpack.
Hot
really
Topic's
cool.
going to have
Yeah.
it
Hey,
too.
you got to go back to school.
Yeah,
exactly.
Everybody's kind of already
This
back at this point.
backpack
That's okay.
is like fully functional.
It's
like
awesome,
You could use it for
I think we're working
so
on-
multi-purpose.
I think we're working on
look at the
getting the.
picture.
No, but I'm actually.
It's pretty cool. though. We'll have to show you a
for real
picture.
though. Like when I heard backpack, and I
It's
just
got
kind
so
of.
many pockets.
It's really nice.
I'll pull up a
It's
picture for
actually
you.
really good.
And then I'm actually working on getting the Killing the Business joggers that we have on YoungBucksMerch.com at Hot Topic. I think that's happening too. So.
That's
Very
cool.
nice.
Very
And
cool things.
I caught so much. I made a tweet.
A tweet. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's a great backpack.
I know
I
you're
made
about
a
to-
tweet saying that you didn't know your demographic by putting out leggings to this. And this
Yeah,
is
let's clear the
And this
air
was a
here.
joke.
This was a 100% joke of obvious, like
Yeah.
the idea, and the more I thought about it, is the more that's how Twitter works. Is that
Yes.
someone gets it out of context and doesn't know my
That's
sense
what
of
And then a
humor,
whole thread
Yes.
starts.
and then women everywhere are bashing me, and I'm like, I am so pro everybody and
I know,
anything.
man.
Yeah.
I know.
And
It's
it
I felt
dangerous,
felt
isn't it?
bad. I felt bad
it's
because Matt and I knew we were like, oh, that's just Colt being Colt.
We were texting that day, I think.
And I was like, what a great idea. I should do that. Like that's in my head, like what a great idea. And in my head, then also it's like, oh, I should maybe give you a rub, and that's how not a rub, but give you an RT. Like
Right,
that's
more
my
people
way
see it.
of I want to get a little snarky, fun comment in while also saying, hey, these guys have
leggings.
They have
available.
leggings on.
Yes, exactly.
And it
You
came
got
to me.
buried.
It came to me being a fucking woman hater.
Again, though, dude, that's how this works now. Like,
And
you say
sadly now, some people will think you actually hate
That's-
women.
Oh, you know the worst thing? This happened to us the other day. We said that we would like to have Tokyo, like just joking. Hey, that'd be cool if Hulk Hogan walked us down to the Tokyo Dome one day. I didn't know the Young Bucks are racist tweets at me. Like
That hurt
come
me.
on.
Yeah, that hurt me a lot,
The
actually.
thing now is that the people who don't listen to my podcast and follow me, there's a group who think I hate women, and there's a group who don't know that you guys made a story, and that think that you are just all anti-WWE.
Yeah, we're just invading WWE because
That's
we
what
hate
you
WWE.
do.
Yes, exactly.
And my heart, this is where the Jewish guilt comes. I want to go to everyone's house and be like, no.
Yeah.
I like
You want
women. I
everybody to
respect
like you.
women. Yeah,
Dude, as pro wrestlers, all we want is to be over.
Yeah.
We just want everybody to like us and pop for us, right? Like, essentially, that's what we live for. So I get it.
I get it.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
It's cleared up.
Yep.
Air's cleared.
See you later.
See ya.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Okay, yep. Thank goodness. Bye.
Okay, do your Jim Ross goodbye.
Good. I have a goodbye from Jim Ross.
I know you did a Jim Ross impression that I really liked.
Oh,
I felt
did.
didn't get
Which
enough
one?
of it.
You did the We're Live Pal.
Yeah,
earlier.
we're live, pal.
So can we get a goodbye?
Goodbye, pal.
Boom, boom, Colt Cabana. Boom, boom, Colt Cabana. Boom, boom, Colt Cabana. It's Colt Cabana.